here. Super excited for the episode today with Sabrina Fair. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Super excited for this episode today and wanted to kind of start just giving some background, kind of how I became acquainted with you, and then ended up reaching out to have you on the podcast. So I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do remember, the school communications put on, they called it the concert.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Basically just like, it was super fun, like a super good idea. Just like a concert, talent show type vibe with all the majors of the kids in the school communications. And I'm trying to remember when that was. I feel like it was the beginning of the year or something like that.
Something like that.
But I was either in the program or had just applied and was waiting to know if I got in, and like they just sent out the invitation, so I came. And you performed a song with
Quint and Chris, the legends.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, we sang a Fleetwood Mac song. That was hilarious. That was like a college highlight, I'd say.
Super fun. And then fast forward to the what do they call it? It's in place of the devotionals.
The Unforum. Yes.
Perform with your band.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to your performance a couple, it was like 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of at a local venue. I like can't put it into words, but like I just love watching people like live things that they're passionate about. Like, and I feel like just the nature of like being a musician is very performative, so I'm able to see that a lot more. But like, just like supporting local musicians and like, just I mean, obviously with the podcast, like local creatives, but it's just
Yeah.
just like it's really exciting for me.
Oh, that's so awesome. I relate to you in that way. And it's really nice of you to support local music.
Yeah, and it was super fun just like 2 or 3 weeks ago because like I got to watch you guys perform, but then you also had someone else open for you guys.
Yeah.
That I've never been exposed to before.
Yeah.
Killed it.
That's my friend JC. She's amazing. Amazing.
So yeah, super excited for the episode today. I'm grateful to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
So with each episode, we kind of have like a singular focus. Like typically people like they're at least like semi-established in like what they're trying to do. But something that I realized, and like it'll be similar with your episode with like music and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to focus on that. But something that was fun that I realized like just kind of preparing for the conversation today was I feel like you have a lot of creative experience.
That I'm insane.
Um,
That I'm unwell. No, just kidding.
I have a couple things bulleted. So
Okay. Let's go for it.
this is the knowledge I have thus far.
Okay.
Of Sabrina Fair. So you acted growing up, and eventually even performed on Broadway.
Yeah, that's true.
You have written music most of your life, and are a very experienced writer. You've written poetry, a children's book, and you write copy at professional level in the field of advertising.
True.
Apparently there's a sitcom in the works as well.
Yes. Very early in the works.
Let's go. You also have released your own song, are working on an album, and then to add on top of that, you have an Instagram page with fun doodles and illustrations.
My doodle page. Yeah.
I'm sure the list goes on. I feel like kind of all of that and just kind of getting to know you thus far, just kind of all encapsulated is like a creative. Like you just embrace creativity. Like what role thus far has creativity played in your life up until this point, would you say?
Yeah, I feel like I've never even like seen it as a role. It's just been like a part of like everything for me. But I think for sure it's like a way to process my life. Like it's really ironic that I'm a writer. I don't know. I hate like saying that, but I'm like a writer, but like I'm so bad at keeping a journal. And so I feel like in a way all of my like art is like a way for me to process things that happen to me in my life and like make it something that is beautiful to me in my own way that I don't mind looking back on. And so whether it's like a happy thing or something that's less good, I just feel like my whole life I've kind of tried to channel it into some kind of art. And I feel like music is just the main one that's stuck, but I have all these other things that I still love to do. I just don't really show anyone.
I think that's a really cool point because, like, me personally, I dislike reading, and I'm a terrible writer. Like, it's just not my thing. Um, but the way that I've been able to like journal is I do like not like vlogs, but literally like video logs. Like I just like
Yeah.
take my camera and I just like talk to the camera for like 20, 30 minutes. Like
I should do that, honestly.
It's just me.
Yeah.
And like also like this last week I was with my family in the East Coast and like I made like 20-second video that I posted.
Fun.
It's like I'm remembering things in journaling, but not in like the traditional sense.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of wish there was more of a push for that.
Yeah.
Not the pressure to like write every day, but find your own way to pursue journaling.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think journaling's awesome. Like, I wish my sister is like a master journaler. Like, she just has like books and books and books full of her life, which I think is really epic. But there's something about it that's hard for me to do every day. And so I just feel like, yeah, writing music or like doing art or writing poetry or whatever it is a good way to like reflect on your life and still write about it without writing about it.
What would you say like is the draw specifically to music as a creative outlet for you?
Good question. I mean, I come from a really musical family. And so, I mean, everyone, like, I have 3 older siblings. All of them have bands. My mom is an amazing pianist. My dad has had a couple bands. And so I just grew up with that being, like, the coolest form of expression. Like, from my point of view, it maybe isn't. But, like, just for me growing up, seeing my older siblings do it, I was like, oh, like, I want to do that. And them introducing me to so many, like, cool musicians just made me feel like, oh, like, what if I tried? Like, what do I have to say, you know?
100%. That's sick. I also love music. I unfortunately have absolutely no musical ability.
Come on. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But, like, I think it's just like a universal human thing to, like, love music.
Yeah.
And you mentioned kind of in the information that you provided me that you've kind of written your entire life, but it wasn't until college till you really like pursued music.
Yeah.
What was it like kind of just writing, and then what was a decision like to then pursue it kind of more seriously?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to know if you like it. So like at first I was just doing it because I liked it and it felt fun and natural to me. And when you're in middle school or whatever and like a guy doesn't like you and you're just like, and you write a song about it, it's fun and you just like it. And then, yeah, I was doing, like I said, I did a lot of theater like growing up. And then I think once I got to college, I realized that like I kind of wanted to know what I sounded like not pretending to be someone else and like what I would say, you know, if I could make my own music. And so that kind of excited me. And that's when I decided to kind of give my time to it, I guess.
Yeah, super cool. And what did that look like? Like what steps, like how do I want to phrase this question, like what changed when you decided to pursue music more seriously?
It was a big adjustment, honestly. Like when it comes to how I sang and like how I wrote, like when I first started writing more, I like hated my songs. Like if you could, I'm so embarrassed of like some of my songs that were on like Apple Music and Spotify, and my siblings are always like, why'd you take them down? It's because I hate them. It's because I absolutely hate them. And so I feel like it's been a journey to like understand what music would like, what kind of music do I want to make? What kind of music would I want to listen to? And that was a journey. And so I feel like I had to really like hone in on that.
Yeah. So what is that? What is your type of music?
That's a good question. Here's the thing. I love like all different types of music, and I feel like there's a place for like almost all different types of music. And so I feel like my music, I would call it maybe indie rock, this album I'm working on, but it just depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yesterday I wrote a song that was more like singer-songwriter, and that's just what it was. So I don't know. It's a good question. I guess I'm still finding it.
Yeah, no, I think, like, I'll just relate it to kind of, what I do. Like, I love podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking to people. I love stories. I love the people I've been able to meet through it. And every single time I sit down to edit a podcast, there's, like, processes that I do, but it's always experimentation and new things and how can I make this
Definitely.
cooler or sound better or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just the creative journey or a journey at all, like our personal journeys, is like it's continual try, fail, try, just kind of see what works, what doesn't work, and it's hard to define yourself or your music or anything that you're passionate about at one singular time because it's ever changing.
So true. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. I feel like the goal as an artist is like to make something you're proud of. And so that's what it's all about, and it's easy because we're always getting better and progressing to look back and be like, oh, why did I do that? But really it's just part of the process.
And you look at like a lot of the very successful artists, at least the ones that I view as like greats, every single project is different. They're kind of exploring a new side of themselves and going through different challenges, and it's a different way that they're expressing the way that they're viewing life and experiencing things.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. I love when an artist drops something that's different and everyone hates it for a minute. I'm like, they're allowed to do that. Like, that's awesome for them.
Would you say that like the other kind of fun creative outlets that you have played a role into your singing and songwriting?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like, well, with poetry, I wouldn't consider myself a poet, but I did write a book of poetry like for my capstone, and when I was writing that, it's like it all kind of feeds into each other. Like, really, I'm just expressing myself, and I'm just like trying to write down my thoughts in like a way that's compelling and beautiful to me, and sometimes that works in a song and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works as a children's book, as like a really wholesome thing, and like I could never make a song out of If Sunshine Had Parents. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to hear that. But it is a part of me that, like, so I feel like it all kind of bleeds together, and it's just a matter of, like, what's the right space for these, like, thoughts and feelings to live in.
Yeah, 100%. That's like, because we both did you just finished, graduated from
Yeah.
advertising, and I'm kind of just starting my journey in the program at BYU. But I feel like kind of as I've talked to different professors and stuff like that, that's a huge thing. And like, if you want to be good at advertising, like, broaden your, understanding of like the world. Like, really dive into your interests and meet other people and read books that aren't just strictly advertising. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like when you're able to kind of pull from so many different things, different creative outlets, different sources of information, different experiences, like you can really bring a very authentic and unique kind of product into whatever you're doing.
Definitely. I mean, if you want to write good books, you got to read good books. Like, if you want to, like, make cool stuff, you have to, like, completely throw yourself into, like, the coolest stuff that you can find, which isn't normally advertising, Or, like, it's maybe not, like, what you're exactly into, but you have to really, like, explore just all the coolest things in life, which is exciting.
100%. So tell me a little bit about your songwriting process and how you go about that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And also a question before,
Yeah.
kind of on top of that.
Uh-huh.
When like someone says they're like a songwriter, is that typically strictly lyrics, or does that also include like the music on top of that?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I feel like if you're a songwriter, you kind of have at least like a melody in your head. Like, if you're a songwriter, you can sing it as a song kind of thing. Or maybe there's not lyrics and like you can still be a songwriter because you wrote something that's music, But yeah, maybe that's a good question. Maybe without the music, it's more like poetry, but you can still call it a song. I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
oblivious. I have no idea.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, it happens differently every time, but sometimes I'm like walking or I'm driving or something and kind of a line will come into my head and I'll like sing it. And then when I like do a janky voice recording of it, and then when I get home, whenever I have the time, I try to like figure out what I was singing and like try to make it into a song. Sometimes like the other day I like had some chords that I liked that I just kind of figured out and then I like wrote to it, but that's less common for me. I'm not that good at like guitar, honestly. So
That's interesting. It's just interesting to see because I had Christian Affleck on a couple weeks ago, and he's kind of like a vocal point. He also is in a local band.
mhm.
Kind of his processes as well. Just kind of how unique it is for every single person, whatever the discipline is that they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's definitely cool. I think there is some truth in like there's that quote that's like, when does inspiration strike? And it's like a famous writer and he's like, it hits at 9 a.m. every morning, like when I go to write. And so really like you do have to sit down and do it. Like if I never make time to sit down and write music, then I'll never have any songs. But so I think there is power, like if you just set aside time, like I can make a song. It doesn't always have to be like inspiration struck and now I'm running to my guitar. Sometimes it is just like I sit down and I just let my brain relax and see like what comes out, you know?
100%. So you have a single out.
I do.
Scented.
Yes.
What was kind of that process like, starting from like concepting it to going through the studio process to then uploading it to Spotify, or not Spotify, just streaming services?
Yeah, all of them. That's a good question. I wrote the songs on my album. I wrote so many of them like years ago.
Really?
And so yeah, like they're so old. Like the whole recording process has been like really long and rewarding, but like really long.
Yeah.
'Cause I would have them and I played a bunch of shows and then I was like, well, let's record this. And then that's like a whole beast because we're doing it ourselves. But yeah, writing that song was just sort of like, again, experimentation with the idea that songs don't have to be so sad.
Yeah.
And like there are other big feelings that aren't devastating. And so like the feeling of anticipation, like a positive anticipation, like thinking things might be good for you and like being in California, like that's what that song feels like to me. And it was kind of like a challenge, like can I write a song that's not like about something bad that happened to me? So I'm proud of it. I think it's fun. Feels like California to me.
I think it's super fun too, and I love the music video as well.
Oh, thanks.
Really
Shout out Jack Jordan.
Yeah. I do think it is interesting though, because kind of like I was talking this again with Christian, but just kind of like I mentioned, I love supporting local artists, local creatives, musicians. I'll go to like Battle of the Bands whenever I see someone's
Nice.
performing. I'll try and go, and like it's fun for me.
Mhm.
And it was so interesting when I like started going, because like I would go and I'd hear this music. I'm like, this is amazing. Like these people are awesome. They're killing it. And then I pull up their Spotify and they'd have like 10 monthly listeners and like one single out.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on? Like, where's the disconnect? How come like if these people are so amazing, there's nothing that I can like listen to, or they're not like bigger on social or whatever it is.
It's such a struggle, huh? That's how I feel when people are like, how can I stream? I'm like, 1 second.
It's such a battle.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about the album that you're working on. You mentioned that a lot of the songs you wrote previous. Is there like kind of an idea around the album? What would you say?
I feel like they're just songs I've been sitting on for so long. Like it's almost like, I mean, it's my debut album, and so it's kind of like my songs thus far that I feel like good enough about putting on the album. But I think definitely like a general theme is like celebration. Like a lot of these songs feel kind of celebratory to me, which is new to me in songwriting. Like usually you write a song when you're feeling sad. Like I think that's a pretty common thing for songwriters. Like it's just easier to write sad songs. And so I wanted to push myself and try to write songs that aren't so sad. I mean, there's still some. I'm just a girl. I get sad. But yeah, the album is named Lemon Scented too. And so it just kind of, I wanted to have that feeling throughout the album, even though there's some like dips emotionally.
I wanted to shift just a tiny bit to focus a little bit on the band that you're in.
Mhm.
So it's hardly known, right? Are you guys like switching your names?
Yeah, it's so Sabrina Fair, like that's like a band. Like I'm in it with my brothers. And then Hardly Know Her / girl band is like another one that formed almost like as a joke at first, hence the name Hardly Know Her. Like it's kind of like a joke. It just formed literally for like a church battle of the bands. And we had like 24 hours and it was just going to be me and someone else doing like an acoustic song. And I was like, it would be so funny if we did that song from School of Rock. Like I love that movie. And then all of a sudden we were like, well, actually this girl can play the drums, or like this girl can maybe play the bass. And so we just like got it together and then we ended up doing BYU too, and we won that one. And that's, yeah, I know, it's so funny. I think people like to see a girl band. So yeah, that's why we got to play on Forum.
How did that come to be? You performed at a
Church one.
and then someone saw it and was like,
No, then it was just the BYU Battle of the Bands after that. And we were like, let's do it. Like we've already done one. And so we learned one more song for that one off my upcoming album. So we just kind of did that one and then School of Rock again. So
that's interesting because I was under the impression that like you were part of Hardly Know Her the band and then you were like a solo artist as well.
yeah, I mean that's like true. I think the girl band is like newer and like we don't really have any songs really of our own. Like we're just a bunch of songwriters separately and we learn each other's songs for like gigs, but we've really only played that one show, so we'll see.
So you guys like have like do you intend on continuing to like work together and like try and find gigs and like progress the band, or is it kind of just been like a fun thing you guys would do?
I mean, we're playing 2 more gigs coming up. We're playing Provost Gate and then like a beginning of the year like event for BYU. And so we have those. Beyond that, I don't really know. Like I don't know what the plan is. It's so fun playing with them. It's like a good learning opportunity for me to just like try to get better at guitar, honestly. Cuz when I play with my brothers, they're just like wizards. And so yeah, when I'm with like the girl band, it's fun because I feel like I kind of have to step up and like really focus on, sounding good. So it's fun, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'll be
I'll ask the group chat. I'll be like, what do you guys think about?
I'll make it happen. Shoot, I'm blanking on the question.
It's okay.
Let me try and think. Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a sip if you want.
Okay.
I guess what I'd want to ask is like, what would you say are the differences of like working in kind of the band environment versus kind of more independent, like pros, cons, what do you like, what do you dislike?
It's tricky because I don't really feel like the project name is Sabrina Fair, but like it feels like a band. Like we practice together. They record all my songs. Like I'm not like doing it myself. My brother's producing the album even. And so I have like more experience almost with them because we're recording and stuff versus with a band. I guess it feels more like lighthearted almost. Like I don't take it so seriously, I guess. It's more just like fun. I'm hanging out with my friends and we're like screaming a Chapel Roan song. And like, I don't really do that when I'm practicing for like a gig if it's just my solo project, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
And what would you say is like something that you have learned or experienced or dealt with throughout your like creative journey through music that people probably probably like wouldn't be aware of or like wouldn't expect or like was kind of a surprise to you?
Can you say it one more time? Let me
So
think.
like throughout your creative kind of music journey, what is something that like someone who's not as experienced as you like in music and hasn't really been exposed to that side of music that would maybe come as a surprise to them or came as a surprise to you?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like you can't do it alone. Like I feel like sometimes musicians kind of isolate themselves and they're like, well, I wrote this amazing song and like now I need to like get it out there. And it's true, like you should have that fire and like you should like believe that like you need to put your songs out, but also like understanding that you shouldn't do it alone because there's actually so many parts of music that need to be good for like whether it's production or like mixing and mastering or like if you're not that good at guitar, like you need to meet people like Provo, for example, has an amazing music scene. Like you need to go out and meet people. There's so many people who are trying to do music that like want to help. And so I would just say like don't feel like you have to do it alone as a beginner and just like try to learn a lot and meet lots of people and collaborate with people.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
How did you like initially approach going out and finding gigs and opportunities to meet new people when you wanted to first start?
That's a good question. I actually for like for a few years I would do this charity event in the month of October and it was called Socktober and we'd raise money and sock donations to donate to Salt Lake Rescue Mission before winter started. And at the end of the month, we would do like a big Socktober concert where I'd ask my friends that like I knew did music to play a big show. And so like I told you, my brothers are in band, so I'd have one of them come. I'd have some people from all different kind of genres almost. I had someone in the ad lab play one year. Luke, love him. He's awesome. But yeah, I feel like I almost like I would just like throw things. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I would have to ask people to borrow a PA to run sound, and people were just kind souls and would like come and do it. And then through that, opportunities kind of show up. But you gotta talk to people for sure. Like if you wanna play the venues, you kind of have to get a few shows under your belt, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like those are two huge things like I've been learning recently. Is like first of all, you have to just start and you have to accept that you don't know everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like you just have to kind of like go for it and appreciate the process of not knowing something until you kind of understand it.
Totally. Yeah.
And the other thing is networking is huge. Like knowing the right people and like having the right resources can open up doors that otherwise would never be open.
It's so true. And like I feel really grateful because my brothers, like my family, they're amazing. Like they're, in my opinion, they don't like when I say this, but like they're way better than me, like at everything. And they're way cooler than me. And like that's how I feel, like genuinely. And like if I could network with anyone in the world, like it would be them, and they're just in my family. And so I do feel really like lucky and grateful that like I can just make an album with my brother, and like we're both learning, but he's like just really good at it. So I do like networking is so important, but I also understand people who are like so frustrated by it, and I get it. And I am just really grateful that I have family.
That's true. So what are they like pursuing music full time, or is it just like a thing for fun for them?
My sister is a musician and an actress, like full time, and she just moved back to Utah. She was in New York for like many years, almost 10, I want to say. And so she does music all the time. She's like more Americana, like rock type thing. And then both of my other brothers are in punk bands, and they both they both have jobs and like they just love music, so they keep doing it.
That's really cool. And for you, do you view it as like this is my grind, like I want to get it to a point where like I can get big and like be in huge venues and making a ton of money, or is it more kind of like this is my passion, it goes where it goes, but I'm just gonna kind of pour energy into it because I love it?
I'd say more the second one. I always joke that like my dream is to just like be huge in some random smaller country and I can just go there and just like play a show and like it'll be awesome. But yeah, I wouldn't say that my dream is to like play Madison Square Garden. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just like maybe I don't believe in myself. I don't know. But I think it is more just like I just like love to do this and I do it anyway. Like even if none of that even existed, like if there was no way to get music distributed and like if I couldn't advertise myself or play any gigs, like I'd still be making music in my room.
Yeah.
And so I think it just at the end of the day, if it's just that, like I still love it, you know.
I feel like on these podcasts sometimes I'm just like a broken record because I like just say things over and over again, but like I'm gonna say it again for those that like my 3 consistent listeners. I love Casey Neistat. I think he's like I don't know if you're familiar with him, and he's like a big YouTuber.
Okay. I think I've heard.
Towards the beginning of YouTube, he he's like the original vlogger.
Oh, okay.
He would post 8 to 10 minute vlogs every single day.
Oh, cool.
Which is like a huge grind for over 800 days. He kept
Wow.
that streak up. And in one of his interviews, someone asked him about like how he did it, and he was kind of just like, if you're gonna like do something, like you have to be passionate enough about it to do it for 10 years with no fruits and no success. Because I feel like that's something that like it stops so many people from like doing what they love, is not seeing initial success or like fruits of their labor.
Totally, yeah.
And I feel like you have a really good perspective on it, and it's a perspective I try to keep on the podcast. Like obviously I'm gonna do what I can to make it bigger, and
Yeah.
you know, and like that's kind of the fun in the journey of that.
Yeah.
But like at the core, I'm doing this like genuinely because I love it, and like
Yeah.
it's like it to me, and the lessons that I'm learning, and figuring out how to use Adobe, and like all these
Yeah.
things. It's kind of just a culmination of so many things that I love, and I think that's a really important thing for longevity and creativity, is being able to be passionate enough about it to not let, I don't want to say failure, but just prolonged success
Yeah.
stop you.
It's so true. There's like a fine line between like your drive and then just letting it be whatever it is. And it's hard to find, but yeah, I think for me right now, that's just what it is. Like I love to do it, and it's stretching me a lot to like learn how to make an album. And it's taken so long, but it's worth it. Like even if no one listens to it, as long as I'm proud of it, like I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
But if people listen to it and like it, like that's awesome. I would love for people to like come along and like listen, but it's okay if they don't. I already know it's not for everyone. If you make anything, you know.
That's true. And the other thing that's really cool about something like that is after you go through this process, like you can be a resource for someone else that
It's true.
is like, hey, I want to do this. How do I do it? And
Yeah.
you have that experience and knowledge to help someone through that same process.
It's so true. Yeah.
That's really cool. What would you say? This question's kind of like cliche, but like
Mhm.
biggest inspirations for you personally?
Oh, my family. I'm like a broken record now. My siblings are so cool. Like they inspire me so much, and like they believe in me so much. Like I feel like it's important to have those inspirations, whether they're musicians or like whatever field you're in, to be like they're so cool and like I want to be like them. But at the end of the day, that's like a one-way train. Like they don't know who you are. They probably believe in you if they knew you. But like I feel like my family just really inspires me because I see them grinding, and like I see them not only like grinding their own things, but like being generous with their talents, kind of like you were saying, and like helping me, their little sister, when like they don't have to do that. And so, yeah, like you said, that inspires me because I want to get this project done, but then I also want to like be able to help people too. So,
100%. That's another big thing is I love people that don't gatekeep.
yeah, fair.
That like creatives, like I understand why some people do it, um, but it's just the most like gratifying, good feeling when you ask for help and someone's like, yes, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Walk them through the process.
Yeah.
And obviously the luxury of, your inspiration being your family, being so close to you, and like having that kind of support is
Mhm.
awesome that they'll just like willing to offer that stuff. But
Yeah.
I think like just in the creative community, that's something that not that I've had like bad experiences with it, but just like I wish there was more of it.
It's there.
More
Yeah.
openly, sharing things that they're learning with other people.
I agree.
And that's again
Yeah.
my hopes with this.
Yeah. Share, everyone. Share what you know.
So, what would you be like your biggest piece of advice for someone that is wanting to start making music?
Mm. I would just say write like a billion bad songs. Just get over it. You have to write so many bad songs. And so like just not being hard on yourself maybe. Like and also kind of have that self-awareness of like, I'm new to this. Like for example, that sitcom. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I have zero expectations. I expect to write it and throw it in the trash. Like I mean, I don't know, like maybe we'll be proud of it, but like it's the first time we've done it. Like I've only written scripts for like 1 minute ads. And so writing like comedy is like a way different language. Like I don't know what I'm doing. And so it's the same thing with songs. Like if you're new to it, don't expect to like create greatness. I mean, maybe ever, but like especially on your first try, like just let whatever comes to mind, like put it on paper and just let it live there. And even if no one sees it, like be proud that you did it and then just grow from there.
100%. Can we like take this tangent just a little bit?
Mhm.
Where did this idea for this sitcom come from?
Oh gosh.
Like, what is the idea for this sitcom?
I can't wait to send this to my best friend because I'm writing it with my best friend. Her name's Natalie. She's also a musician. She's like the funniest person I know. And so it just felt right. We were like, it's time for another passion project on top of my album, I guess. Yeah, and so I don't know if I want to even get into like what it's about, but like maybe once we have a couple episodes, I'd be more willing to like talk about it. Yeah, you'll be at the table read. I'll invite you. You can read for one of the characters. That'd be awesome. No, yeah, but the world better watch out for that.
No, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, the next Office for sure.
How do you, because like you're working a job.
Yes.
You have, I'm sure, other responsibilities, friends, family. How do you find time to be creative?
I'm always trying to find more time to be creative, honestly. It's especially for you, like, going into the ad industry, it's a creative industry and it's always pushing you creatively. And I was really afraid that like I would run out of gas and like after pushing it creatively all day, I would just want to sit and stare at the wall. And there are days that I really do need that. But I just feel like for me, I just have to like set goals. Like it's so basic, but I have to set goals, and anytime I feel myself kind of like veering away and not carving out that time, I have to sit down and like write it out and be like, practice guitar for 30 minutes today. And like, doesn't sound that fun, but then you sit down and you do it for like an hour. And so I feel like you just have to prioritize it, because at the end of the day, you have those hours after 5 that are there for the taking. And like, you don't eat dinner for that long. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do have to sacrifice a little bit of your social life. I will say that.
No, it's been like interesting for me. Like I'm not working a 9 to 5. I have a good situation where I get to work, kind of choose my hours and stuff.
That's
like that.
nice. Yeah.
And I was also taking class on top of that spring term, but I don't know, it's been interesting for me. Like I have
Yeah.
Like, I loved working on spec stuff this whole spring. Like, it
Yeah.
was fun. And, like, I was passionate about it. I was, like, excited about it. And it's the same thing with my job. Like, I love the clients I work with and the stuff that we make. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool.
That's cool.
Um, but whenever it gets to, like, my time, it's, like, a whole different feeling and, like, emotion of, like, this is what I'm excited about.
Yeah. It's true.
So,
I think that's a common
yeah.
thing. But it's kind of nice that we found something that we can do that's still kind of working those muscles that hopefully can translate into those things that we really love. But yeah.
I do feel very lucky to have, like, found this kind of stuff so early on in my life.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are searching for so long to find, like, what they're supposed to be doing.
It's true. Yeah. Or they only have their like job that they don't like that much. And it's like, well, who does? Like you have to find those things that like make you tick, you know?
Believe it or not, we're kind of near
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that flew by.
flies. And something that I love to do at the end of every episode is I give the person being interviewed the freedom to kind of choose what note we end the podcast. So that can be something that, you know, you came today and wanting to share and didn't, something that you had an idea to share and then didn't, or just anything that comes to mind. No pressure, take your time. But
Okay, yeah.
that freedom to end the podcast.
Okay. Yeah, let me think because I've never done this before. So I wasn't like, I really hope he asks me about this. I was just like, we'll see how this goes. Let me think, yeah. I don't know. This is random. We shouldn't end it on this. This is just a random thing that I thought I would say at some point that I didn't, but it's not an ending note.
This is like the precursor.
So like this might just be edited out type of thing. But like I don't know, like this album that I've been working on has taken years. Like the whole time I was in the ad lab, I was like grinding this album like after hours, you know what I mean? And like my brother who's producing the album and recording it like has had 2 children in the span of this album. And so I think yeah, as much as like it's just so fun, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of like sacrifice that's so rewarding, you know? Like I would have given up a year ago if you know what I mean, like it just when you're doing it just is so worth it every time. And then you go home and you're going to sleep and you're like, wait, I have to do 7 more songs and like it takes that long. But then you go and you show up and it's like, oh, like I love music. And so I don't know, you just have to be willing to like work hard and put in the work. I don't know.
That's very profound, and I feel like a great way to podcast.
Okay. Okay.
You want it on another note.
I don't know.
I don't know why. That was great.
Okay.
Great way to end it.
Okay, yeah. Let's go with that then. I guess stream my music.
Yes, please do that. Actually, I'll literally anything you want, I'll put it in the bio.
Okay.
Instagram and
Okay.
Spam everyone.
Hopefully I'll be done with the album. How long do these usually take to get out?
So one will come out not this Friday, but the following.
Okay.
Yours will come out 2 Fridays after that.
Okay. So definitely won't be done with the album, but maybe a single. I don't know.
At least a single.
Hopefully. I'll try for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Good luck with the album.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Appreciate having you.
Good luck with the podcast. This is awesome.